So it's time for the predictions for the midweek fixtures this evening in the Scottish Premiership, which are the games in hand for the games that didn't take place thanks to the Europa League and Conference League qualifiers respectively, and the predictions for the first set of Europa League league phase fixtures for Celtic and Rangers. But before we get to that, if you are new around here, please consider checking out some of the other content on the channel, football related content, as well as FC26 for the SPFL RTG if that's something you'd be interested in. Those are on the channel at the moment with more episodes coming as well. But without further ado, let's get into the predictions for the midweek fixtures involving all the Scottish clubs this week. So, started off with Falkirk versus Hibs. Hibs, of course, coming off the back of a League Cup exit 2-0 at Ibrox against Rangers, which is Rangers' first win in a little bit of time. I think it was Alloa, the last win that they actually got as well. So, we'll wait and see how that impacts both sides. And, of course, we have Falkirk, who I think have had an okay start to the season in terms of where they would want to be, I would say. Sitting 10th with a game in hand isn't too bad for them, I suppose. If they can pick up any points from this game, they'll climb up the table, of course, and Hibs are looking to put a stamp on that third place spot and start to catch up to their rivals' Hearts and Celtic at the top of the league as well. However, how I see this game going, I think it'll be another draw. In all honesty, I think we're going to see a 1-1 draw in this game. Hibs feeling a wee bit sorry for themselves after the Rangers game. And out with the European performances this season, the domestic performances have been, for the large part, disappointing, despite the fact that they find themselves a wee bit further up the table than most. And Falkirk, I think, are always going to be difficult to beat at home. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this game. On to Dundee United versus Aberdeen at Tannadice. Aberdeen, horrible start to the season. Knocked out the League Cup at the weekend as well by Motherwell. Knocked out of the Europa League. Of course, they're still in the Conference League because of the Scottish Cup win last season. No wins in the league this season as well. They did manage to get their first point, of course, against Livingston. But other than that, it's been a pretty horrible time of things for Aberdeen. Dundee United, unlucky in Europe against Rapid Vienna, and at times they've been unlucky domestically as well. Maybe a couple of frailties at the back, you would say, but I would still back them to win this game, with it being at Tannadice especially, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 Dundee United win in this case. On to our Wednesday night fixture between Celtic and Crun's Red Star, or Red Star Belgrade. Celtic, of course, they didn't want to be in the Europa League, but that's where they find themselves. And since the exit in the Champions League, they, of course, drew 0-0 with Rangers, which was the worst derby game I can ever remember watching anyway. But after the international break, difficult fixture against Kilmarnock, controversial decisions, of course, in that game, but they did get the job done. And then Partick Thistle, it was plain sailing 4-0. Although you could argue Championship opposition, you would expect Celtic to do that. So we'll see if those results have helped Celtic kick on at all. They are the bookies' favourites going into the game, but we'll see if that transpires. Celtic in Europe can be a bit of a tricky one to predict, particularly away in Europe, but I am going to get back Celtic to get the job done in this game, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory in this game. And on to Rangers at home to Genk, where they've got it pretty even, Sky Bet do, in the betting odds for the game. I mean, it's a game that Rangers really should be looking to get off to a good start, and it just depends on what kind of Rangers show up, I suppose. Even the win against Hibs, I don't think they were spectacular. I think Hibs were particularly poor, and Rangers scored from a set piece again, which they've done for the majority of their goals this season. And then they managed to get a shot deflected into their path. It's a difficult one. I think, Rangers, like I said, should be looking to get off to a good start here, but I still, even in the win against Hibs, didn't see a lot of positives in that game apart from Nico Raskin, really. But I am going to back Rangers to get the job done. I'm going to go for a 2-1. We'll go for a 2-1 victory here against Genk. So that's going to wrap up the predictions for all the midweek fixtures that Scottish clubs are taking part in. Of course, league results here could also impact Rangers' league position as well, leaving them 12th place before they next play a league game, which would be unbelievable, heading into the game against Livingston at the weekend. Celtic, of course, no matter what happens with the midweek fixtures in terms of the league fixtures, will remain top of the league for the time being, at least anyway, joint top with Hearts, and we'll see what ends up happening after the Europa League fixtures here. Of course, Aberdeen will be kicking off their Conference League campaign in a week or two's time as well, so we'll see how they get on there, but don't see that going very well at the moment, to be honest. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new around here, please consider checking out some of the other content on the channel and subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.